All right, this should be much better. I'm hoping.
Are we on?
So you're not listening to us the whole time? You hear him do that? You hear the program do that?
I hear this through that.
You can?
Just Unity. I can't hear the program.
I'm hearing the program.
Right. All right. So just keep an eye out if anybody's levels are like.
I bet you any money that Andrea fixed the whole thing.
Yeah, I don't know anything about this stuff.
Thanks, so.
Yeah, well,
I just look.
and you know,
I just try to look as pretty as I can on camera.
behind a good man, there's a phenomenal woman. All right.
In this case, that is definitely accurate.
All right.
It's time to get technically funny with the legendary Sinbad and director Jason Aron.
This is a good man. Oveck, man, he's some bad cat.
He sure is, and we are live.
A Dominican cat. He's a bad cat. Yeah, man.
What's going on, man?
I was showing family some of Oveck's work, man.
I got some of it.
I said, this is nice stuff,
right here.
brother.
Our listeners and viewers are in for a treat tonight.
Oh, yo, man.
It's Wednesday. This is the latest in the week we've ever come at you. Wednesday night.
Yes.
I gotta ask you, man. You had these crazy earthquakes on the left side. I mean, what was that like for you?
Oh, man, the earth. This is bad. I feel like I got cheated because this is what happened. We had the first earthquake about 6.4. I was out in the back on the steps with my wife and my nephews. Had an earthquake. We didn't feel it. My son comes around the guest house. Said, "Did you feel that?" I said, "No." So I felt I got cheated. And then I was in Vegas. I was on stage. It was a 7.1. The audience started screaming. I said, "What's going on?" I thought somebody got shot, which would have been great because I could have gone viral. But no one got shot. And they said, "We just had an earthquake." I said, "What?" And I looked up, and all the chandeliers were shaking. So I've been cheated. I've been in an earthquake, but I haven't felt it.
All right, that's not bad. For those who are new to this show, this is technically funny. And I am your host, Jason Aron. Of course, you just heard from the legendary Sinbad. And tonight, oh my God, do we have a special guest. But before we get there, we gotta do some thank you in case people can't last the whole episode. So
thank you.
As always,
thank you. Thank you.
Always, a huge thank you to LiveU for making this cross-country transmission possible. And then on both ends, we got to thank Royce Adkins, the man behind the LA camera, and my little producerette sitting right next to me, Andrea Fasano. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
and,
yes.
Let's see.
And Royce, we give you a shout out, Royce. They give you a shout out, Royce.
Always.
Oh yeah, he said thank you, man. He said thank you.
And I promised a new website, so this is funny. It's done. It's done. You can go see it. Technically Funny.
What?
Yeah, technicallyfunnylive.com. Super
It's
simple.
got a website now, Royce.
Super simple. Just
All right.
little homepage, little, old episodes.
All right.
But here's a funny thing about technology. Sometimes it jumps up and bites you, where, because apparently you can't embed live videos unless you accept monetization and something else. So if you're trying to watch, if you're live right now with us Wednesday night, 10:45 on the East, 7:45 on the West, you will see that you can't see this video there. But of course, you can watch it on Facebook and YouTube.
Well, okay, wait a minute. When you said, so who did you do it with? You should be able to go live on the website. Mine can do it live.
No. So, of course, it's live on YouTube. You just can't embed it on another website.
No, at my website. I can embed it coming through YouTube.
It's a YouTube thing. It's just, it's coming from YouTube. I just have to enable some settings. So, I'll make it happen during the week.
I'll show you the workaround. YouTube ain't going to like it, but I'll show you the workaround.
I just got to click a few things. It don't even matter. Just click a few buttons and I'll make that happen. But it's there. So you can watch all the old stuff on there.
I like to beat the system. I think
I figured that out about you at this point. Yeah, man.
You know that.
We're three episodes in. It only took about 3 minutes, so I got that. So I gotta bring the man in right now. His name is Oveck. He is a Sony Ambassador. We're gonna find out what exactly that means. Coming in from beautiful New York. You tell me. Can I say where? Here he is. Oveck, welcome to the show, baby. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for having me.
What's up, man?
So
what's up, dude?
Do you want to rep what community in Queens you're in right now?
I'm actually in Queens. Yeah, I'm in Queens, and I've been in Queens for the past maybe 16 years. So I love Queens. Queens is it's what's popping.
Cool, bro.
So
that's cool, man.
Of course, we're taking a little stroll down memory lane there. So, talk to me. Obviously, for those that don't know, you are an incredible photographer. I have some of your work here, man.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
I'm just going to throw it in right now while I ask you some of these questions. Look at this. Look at this right here. There's one of your images right there. Gorgeous. You do beautiful work there.
Dude,
look at that. Where? Go ahead. Where is that?
I can see it. Oh, this is actually in Malaysia. And it's funny that you ask, because this is one of those trips where I did with you, where we were going to Timor-Leste, to some country close to Australia, and we landed in Bali the day of the volcano, that volcano that
Yes.
erupted, and we had to basically we ran out of there. And so some of the plans got diverted, and we took a few other trips.
Now I have to
since
say
we were already there.
I have to say this. This is very important because nobody who's watching is going to believe that I didn't set that picture up as the first picture so that he would throw out there that happened to have been a trip that we were on together on the other side of the world.
Yes.
However, it is.
Yes.
Yes,
No,
you
no.
did. Yes, you
It
did. You did set that up. He did set that up.
You set
no,
that up.
Jay
Like, you probably
is
got
shameful.
that.
You did set that up.
It is inaccurate. I did not. I actually didn't recognize it, and then as soon as you started telling the
Yes, you did.
As soon as you started telling
Yes, you
the
did,
story, I
man.
knew I was in big time trouble.
Because if you didn't know that, if you didn't set up, that's worse. That means you don't remember
here's
the trip.
thing. Here's
I
the
know.
thing.
So that's worse.
Here's the important part of the story. I wasn't
yeah,
there
he was
with.
not
We
there.
we went to Bali together, but then I went back to New York, and Oveck decided, you know what, I'm gonna just go see the rest of Southeast Asia, and he took off without me. So it's true.
Yeah, I did.
I didn't set that up.
I did Malaysia and Singapore, and you know
Okay.
what? Since I was there, why not? Right?
See that? I mean, that's how it's done.
Right on, man. Yeah, I like how you. Let me ask you this, Oveck. Did he punk out before the volcano?
He actually. Well, let's not talk about this. Yeah, but he punked out. He
Okay,
yes,
thank you.
Yes, he did.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you.
I made my flight in time. Okay? I was a day early, and I got out before
Yes.
the volcano. Others
Yeah,
were a little bit later and got stuck on the island.
You were able.
You ain't true to
All
it, man.
So you were able to enjoy Bali, while we didn't.
Yes.
We had to basically ran out of there.
I mean, this is a funny story now that you bring it up. Everyone's
Yeah.
trip was kind of offset by a couple days. So I had gone into Bali early before we went to this country called Timor-Leste. And
Yes.
I spent 2 or 3 days in beautiful Bali over Thanksgiving. I mean, it was amazing. If you haven't been to Bali, you got to check that out. Unbelievable country, and everything is super, super cheap. Makes life real easy. But so what happened was, I was there. It was great, and right.
I lost you for a second.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I lost
when
you-
I
I
landed,
lost you for a
I'm
second,
back. I'm
too.
back. Don't worry. I'm back, guys. I'm back. When I landed in Bali.
Hey,
yeah,
Jay.
Um,
I think
when I
Jay's
landed
just
in
talking.
Bali,
We
I
can't hear
heard
him.
that
Jay is
there was
just
going to
talking,
be
but we
this
can't hear
crazy
you.
volcano,
Jay?
and
No, nobody hear you, Jay. And know why? I think
right
because Jay is
there.
lying. So Oveck.
no.
Yeah.
It's
So Oveck,
it's the
Oveck.
phone. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Everybody can hear me. It's just the unity.
We can't hear you,
You
Jay.
can hear me. I'm here. I'm here, baby.
Jay, we can't
Everybody
hear
can
you.
hear me. I promise. I'm gonna just keep telling my story.
Jay, hello, Jay.
Okay, we'll talk. We'll talk, Oveck.
Yeah, why don't you
Tell
guys-
me, man.
you guys can talk.
Okay,
You guys
since
talk.
we can't hear Jay, you can hear me, right?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine. We'll have
Okay,
a
cool.
conversation, and you and me.
All right, until we get Jay
I'm
back.
back. I'm
Let me
back.
ask you.
I'm back.
No,
Oh, yeah, he's
what?
back.
What?
He's back. He's
Oh, damn it! We was about to have
We were
fun.
about to have fun.
Damn it!
You're gonna tell all the bad stories about me. You guys are nuts. No. I got a phone call.
Oh, my
See,
God.
with this technology, I got the Unity going, right? And I got a phone call.
Yeah.
And the phone call makes the Unity, disappear. But everyone else.
Well,
Everyone
the
else can still hear me.
Unity will deal. Unity will deal down phone calls or when you lie. If you start
We gotta
lying,
find a better
Unity
way.
cuts
we gotta
out.
Find a better way. We got to find a better way.
Well, we
Jay?
caught you last week lying, and
This-
Unity just off you went. But yeah, to make
So
a long
Oveck,
Bali.
I got to ask
Go
you.
ahead. Go ahead.
Speak to me.
We don't care about Bali. You know what? We lost Bali. When you were talking, we left Bali.
You're gone.
So
You're in
I
Malaysia.
got to ask Oveck, man. When did you put a camera in your hand?
It's got to be about 8 years. I mean, not the first time I professionally, I would say maybe about 8 years. That's when I started using as a photographer. But going back a little bit, like 10 years ago, I saw Jason Aron, because Jason, I don't know if you know this, but Jason is a phenomenal cinematographer.
Yes.
And
Feel free to sing as many
it's-
praises about me as you like. Go ahead, continue, please.
No. Yeah. I will. Because the truth of the matter is, you actually inspire me to follow up on video too, like to follow up on the cinematography side of things, and I learned a lot from you by watching your videos and by watching your work ethics, and that was pretty dope, you know. But in terms of photography, like I always had it in me. Like I wanted to somehow. First of all, I'm a musician, so I love art.
Oh,
I love art in general. So basically, what I did was shifted my talents and went into photography uh, when I was done with music. Because as you know, music is just it's just a whole another world, especially in the digital era.
I think
but you're not done with it, are you? You're
Oh
not
no,
done with
I'm
music, are
not.
you?
Yeah, I'm
Don't
not
tell me
done with
no.
no. I'm not done with music. We're listen. It's like music will always be with me. And hold on a second,
All
because
right.
this thing is like you told me to put it in the back, but you know what? I'm gonna put it over
right in
here
the
because
front.
this is better.
There you go.
Yeah,
Okay.
Nothing wrong with two
it
wires.
was like falling.
I think
Yeah.
we need Apple to sponsor the podcast so we can get all our guests a pair of
Absolutely,
AirPods.
absolutely.
Everybody needs AirPods
All
like
right.
us.
Hell
So,
yeah.
all right. So let's concentrate again. But yeah, about 8 years ago, that's when I started doing photography. That's just what it is.
You know what I loved about that answer? I mean, ultimately it was just 8 years, but he was able to throw in how much he liked my work and all that stuff. So that's just amazing. I really appreciate that answer. I think all
Oh no,
I
no,
think
yeah,
all answers
absolutely.
should,
Yeah,
should
and
encompass that with it.
it wouldn't be right if I didn't say it because that's just the way it is. It's like I mentioned before. We're all affected by everything we see and watch and grow
Yeah.
up on it. Like I said to you, Sinbad, like even you affected me in some way because I've watched your movies. I've watched movies growing up. I watched the movies.
Oh man. Man, you must have been like 3 years old then, bro. Because
No, 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 no,
I'm
no, no. You'll
so,
be surprised.
I'm
You'll
so
be surprised. You'll be surprised. Let me tell you. Let me tell you. I'm 41, my brother. 41.
Now, look at that complexion. I mean, we need to get you on
See, look young.
like a Neutrogena like podcast or something.
I know, man. This brother looks young, man. But let me ask you this, because I'm a musician too, man.
So am I, by the way. That
instruments do you
that
play,
makes
man?
3 musicians on this podcast.
You are too,
right
Jay?
now.
That
Yes,
makes three.
absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. Jay is, yeah.
You can tell him how good I am at that too. That's fine.
Yeah. No. He's done some shit. I mean, I'm sorry.
That's it's it's podcast. It's not network television. We can say whatever we want over here.
All right.
Dang,
all right,
man.
all
So
right.
So what do you play? Go ahead, tell him.
I play guitar. I play guitar and sing, and that's what it is. That's my main thing. But I could do
Okay.
a little bit of all the instruments. But it's like Tom Waits. Tom Waits says, "Don't trust a man who says you can do two things good." Let's just
yes.
yeah,
Yes.
let's just say I play
Yeah.
guitar.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Well, you know what though, man? I think I think if you're like me and Jay, I think we all have a little bit of ADHD. I don't have a little bit. I have a lot of ADHD. I think people are artists. We dabble in so much. When we're kids, we don't fit much because
true.
we're all over the place.
Yeah, it's true.
But as we get older, we realize it's a gift. It's not a hindrance. It's a
Yeah,
gift.
that's true. That's true. I can definitely
Yeah.
relate to that.
Sinbad, what do you play?
Yeah.
What's your weapon of choice?
I was just crazy. I was a drummer growing up. I didn't play music again for
You look
30
like a
years
drummer.
after college playing pro ball. So I played drums, but now I play drums. I play bass. I'm playing guitar now. I'm playing percussion. I'm trying to learn keyboards, and I want to learn saxophone and trumpet.
It's funny you said you asked Oveck. You said, "Are you done with it?" I think every musician knows you're never done with it. Sometimes you take a break.
No.
Sometimes those breaks are long.
Yeah.
But, music's one of those things. You never you never leave music.
No, I never leave music.
You could.
It's for money, and I think now it's more for fun because I don't need to make money from it for it.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm having
And
more fun with it.
Totally.
Yeah, I don't need to make money.
I can definitely agree with that.
Yeah.
So let's pop up some of your other images here, man. Take a look at this one. Talk to us about this one that just came up. I mean, look at this shot.
Okay, hold on.
That is
Let me
unbelievable.
see because I don't
It's
see
coming.
it yet.
It's coming.
Let's wait.
The whole world sees it.
Oh, this was in Egypt. I was
Wow.
the board of tourism invited me to Egypt to take some pictures and to show to showcase like the like the side of Egypt that like a lot of people don't know. I mean, some people may think that going to Egypt is dangerous, or there will be like things that like Americans think that Egypt is something else. But in all honesty,
Yes.
Egypt is just such a beautiful country, and is very safe. And they're bringing me back next year because when I was there, they were building the biggest museum in the world. They're building right now, and as we speak, and they're about to open it in 2020.
That's unbelievable.
So I'm looking forward to that.
Talk a little bit about that. Obviously, we had you promoted as Sony Ambassador. Lots of people pick up cameras. How do you get involved with a company like Sony and become, an ambassador? What is that? What is a Sony ambassador? And
okay, so
how do you get involved there?
All right. So a Sony ambassador is let's call it the way it is Alpha Imaging Collective. And basically, it's a group of creators, meaning videographers, cinematographers, photographers, and people who want to create and showcase what we can do with the Sony cameras, with the Sony equipment. And basically, what we do is we create content for Sony and for us. And Sony basically takes us to places, gives us opportunities to work together, to meet new people, like-minded people, and learn from each other in like workshops. And we get to test out new products.
Wow!
Speaking of which,
nice shot.
Yeah. Speaking of which. I was actually this shot was in White Sands, and this was happening. Sony brought me to Texas, Marfa, Texas, and this was for an event. It's called Field Trip, and basically it's also all workshops and things like that. So after the trip, we went to White Sands, and basically the sunset gods like were on us, like because the sunset that day was like basically out of this world. It was just gorgeous at White Sands in New Mexico. And by the way,
wow.
I was gonna say, where else have you gotten to go?
There's a few places.
I mean,
a few places.
I mean that's amazing. And is this something that you aspire to do? Obviously, another thing that most of your fans know, you have a pretty big Instagram following, about 90,000. I mean, how does something like that happen for a photographer?
That's a tough question, because nothing comes without hard work, right? Nothing really comes without you putting.
Say that again.
What? Yeah, right.
Say that again.
We agree on that, and we know, and as you, Sinbad, and as you, Jason, we all know that nothing comes without hard work, and basically, I mean, people start to notice when you do great things. People start to notice, and I mean, I'm shy to talk about myself. I'm shy to talk about like my work. I like to let my work speak for itself, but sometimes you just got to explain sometimes, because some people may not get it. This was actually in New Zealand, which I was about 2 weeks ago. This shot right here, and this is the Wanaka tree, and it's like in the middle of the lake, and you can see a little bit of the Milky Way on it, but that night the moon was way too bright, so you won't be you can't really see it. But yeah, I mean, listen, it's hard work. Like even that picture, you may think that, okay, well, it's a simple, yeah, it may be simple for some people, but I had to wake up at 3 a.m. and go down to a lake, and it was freezing. Like it was like, because New Zealand right now it's winter, so that lake was freezing, and I had to get in the water to be able to, with a monopod, with a tripod, to get that shot. and that's it. It's all hard work,
Is this one?
pretty
Was
much.
this one from the same trip?
Oh yeah, this was also from New Zealand. New Zealand.
I mean, these are unbelievable. Sinbad, you been to New Zealand?
Thank you.
Quite. Yeah, I've been to New Zealand. I've been to those places. But I don't see it the way he sees it. I have. Let me tell you something. I've always wanted to be. People. Everybody wants to be a photographer. Everybody wants to carry a camera and get shots. And I do think you can take classes. I think you can get better at it. But I think some people are gifted. Just like music, you can learn to play guitar. You can learn to play drums. But some people God gives an extra eye and a vision to. My youngest daughter, I'm trying to tell her name is Rachel, to watch this podcast now. She's being a photographer. I want her to see Oveck stuff because she has a good eye. But I want to see what a great eye is. I want her to
Thank
see
you. Thank you.
how
Appreciate that.
you catch moments that the average person might drive by and go, oh, that was nice. But when you shoot, you go like this, I was just there. I didn't see that. It's like you capture something that I think maybe we're just too busy. Maybe you see something that the average person, we're just moving so fast through life, we don't see it.
You're right, and it's funny that you say that because there was 5 of us. It was 5 of us there, and we all took different shots. There's similarities because obviously it's the same place, but we all saw something else.
How does that work when you when you go on a trip with Sony? Because I'm sure people who are listening to this, and by the way, if you're just listening to this on iTunes or Google Play or wherever, this is probably one you want to get online and watch because some of these images are just absolutely breathtaking.
You got to see it. You got to see it.
You can't listen to this.
You
got to
see it.
You got to watch this one. But Oveck, talk about
Thank
that.
you.
You go on a trip. It's a Sony Alpha Collective trip. They take 5 of you, send you across the world. What happens when you get there? Is there an itinerary? Or do they just say, all right, you got 5 days, go wild? I mean, how does it work? How does Sony know what they want? Or do you have freedom?
Sony works hard on that too. I mean, what they do is they prepare this thing for months, and what they do is basically they send us an itinerary where everything is day by day, and it's timed the way they wanted it to happen. I mean, obviously certain things you can't predict it, and then like especially in going to countries like that where weather could be a little bit tricky. So but yeah, I mean, everything is really in a timeline way. So everything is planned the way they want it, and the locations and things like that. And on this trip they also had 2 Sony artisans, which is another part of like the creatives and artists. They call them artisans. They're like the OGs, basically.
So I mean, be honest. Who got the best stuff while you were out there? I mean, it has to be you, right?
Let me ask you this. There's a brother named Moon Cricket. I don't know if you ever met him. He was a Sony ambassador. When I first got in this game, I was in an NAB. He's a brother from the Bay named Moon Cricket that was actually a break dancer who became a filmmaker. And he was pushing.
I mean,
he was
familiar.
Yeah. Moon Cricket was. If guys look at me, he was pushing Sony cameras, shooting video before anybody was. You weren't supposed to shoot with video with him. He was pushing those cameras. I think at the time you could do what, 12 seconds at a time, or the camera was shut down. Yes.
Is that his real name?
Yeah, Moon Cricket. If you look him up, he's in LinkedIn, he's at Facebook, Moon Cricket, and you'll see his stuff. He's dude. What he was doing with cameras. So when you said Sony Collective, I said, I wonder if Moon Cricket was out with you guys, man.
I'm gonna look him up and I'm gonna find out.
Yes.
It would be nice to know that,
This is a technology show, obviously, and you get to use some really cool Sony gear, obviously. That's part of being in the Alpha Collective. You go out with Sony's latest and greatest and the best stuff they have. It's now the portion of this show where we have to talk about it. I mean, if I gave you a Canon camera or if I gave you a Nikon camera, could you take the same picture? Let's get into the age-old argument.
I have to be completely honest. I'm one not to stick to one thing. And the truth of the matter is, I still shoot film. Look what I have right here. Like, this is the old Hasselblad, like, from the 50s.
Wow. Yeah.
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 I mean, it's just the way it is, and I still, and believe it or not, like I I developed my own film at home, with this, and with
Wow.
a few different things. So I still shoot film. So it doesn't matter. I mean, does it matter the camera? Yeah, I mean, it matters for certain things, but at the end of the day, if you gave me the Canon, I used to shoot Canon, and that didn't matter. I mean, I'm just happy that uh, I'm part of the Sony the Sony family,
I think,
because the
you know what I think it is,
Sony's is
Jay?
always on top of
Yeah.
things, and they listen.
I think what it is, okay, when he's saying he's a Sony ambassador, that doesn't just mean he shoots Sony. Even Sony knows that. Not to lose
Right.
endorsement thing, but like, I know Fender artists, because Fender was smart enough to say we need to have this guy being endorsed by us, but they might use other guitars for other things in the studio,
Oh,
because I don't think
absolutely.
any one act does it
There's
all.
nothing wrong
but
with that.
but Sony was smart enough. Sony was smart enough to realize we want this guy on our team.
That's an
And-
interesting
and
point.
it's very interesting point, and the truth is that I was able to jump in when the beginning of the mirrorless camera was just coming out, and
Uh-huh.
and in the beginning, don't get me wrong, I was hesitant because this is just a new thing, and I'm like, is this really gonna work? I mean, I was kind of old school, like. But then again, I went with it, and they invited me to an event, and I tried the camera, and I fell in love with the camera, and they said, well, would you like to join us into this thing that we're creating? And I said, yeah, why not? I'll take my chances.
That's a good point. I mean, music's a big. You kind of have that in everything, right? Athletes are endorsed by a certain
Yeah.
company. A guy wears a Nike,
Yeah.
shoe or a baseball glove or whatever. With music,
Yes.
You brought up
Yeah.
Fender. Obviously, guitar makers, amp
Yeah.
makers, they all sponsor, artists,
Yeah.
and it's kind of the whole point of that is, well, the kids see it and that's what they want to get into. And I guess, like you said, I
Yeah.
mean, does Canon, does Nikon, do they even have anything equivalent?
No,
I know
I don't think they do.
You told me offline there's 97 of you now in the Alpha Collective, something like that. Did I get that right?
Yeah, you got that right.
97. So I mean that's a lot of artists that Sony's kind of putting out there and repping their products. I guess I have to ask, what's one of the things that you think makes Sony stand out right now in the marketplace, the gear that you have? What do you love about it?
Well, the truth is, okay, so with the latest cameras they got, like the A7R3 and the A7 III and the A9, what they did was they did an update on these cameras, and it made such a big difference in terms of the IAF, the eye automatic focus. It's phenomenal. Like it tracks people. It tracks the eyes of people, and also it also now has an option for animal IAF. So it's one of those things that I'm really happy they did. And again, these are things that we mentioned because I'm going to speak about the Candle trip, which is coming up in August. I'm going to speak about that because this is something they do. And this is when they gather everybody and listen. They listen to us. They listen to the little things that we want in a camera, like the little things that we want to improve. We want them to improve on the cameras and things like that. And it's been amazing because this is like the third this is going to be the third one. And every one, they've listened to everything that we've said, and they added on to the camera.
That's a really important point. And we kind of brought that up last week a little bit in terms of sometimes you'll get a camera and it's just like, did anybody
Give me 1 second.
consult on this? Did anybody use this and say, hey, Hi, I'm Mr. Actual Artist here. You might want to go on ahead and take a look at this project. I mean, it's like, it's wild, you know. Sometimes you get these products. We talked about that with video cameras, and it's like, I think the C200, Canon C700, we brought up last week. Has anybody actually tested this? Have you looked at the market on this and said, does this make sense? Does this price point make sense? You know,
they just throw it, dude. They throw it out. They just throw it out. They throw stuff out. You would think they would at least, like, even a high school filmmaker. It's like they said, we're such geniuses. We're just gonna put this out there and throw it at you. Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's cool.
So, and but, you know, I went into the Beale Street and, like, you know, went into bar hop.
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
what kind of lens was it?
Cool. Cool.
Yeah, speaking of which, I'm pulling up a little collage of your work I put together here. I mean, this obviously looks like some street stuff that you did. I mean, what?
Who's the pimp on the left? Who's the pimp daddy on the left there?
My Leica camera, and this was film. Just want to throw it out there because it's not. I can, you know, I'm a Sony ambassador, so I'm shooting Leica, but, you know, Leica film. So yeah. So this is a photographer I found on the street. Like, he was selling his prints, but he caught my eye by the way he was dressed, and, you know, it gave me the feeling of you know, like 1950s, you know.
When you,
Dude,
when you
it
take a
looked
shot
like
that,
he
do you-
looked-
I mean, do you go up to him and ask?
It looked like you
should
went back in time, dude.
What do you do?
No, I actually try to have a conversation beforehand, and that's how I know that he was a photographer, and then, you know, that he was. He gave me a little insight of his story. So I'd like to know a little bit. If I'm going to take a portrait of somebody, I'd like to, like, even have a beer with somebody. Like, you know, let's just talk a little bit, and let me see who are you, and let me see if I
I
can.
lost you guys
capture
for a
that.
second.
Like, I like to do
came back.
that. And then the other two pictures, these were two pictures that were shot in Morocco. I was actually in Morocco in March, and another great country in North Africa. You know, Marrakesh. You know, one is Marrakesh, and the girl. And these are real. These are like real people that live that way. This is not set up. This is just the way it is. I mean, you know, the girl with the donkey, you know, they're just, it's incredible. Like, they just live that way. And then, you know, one of those alleyways in Marrakesh, you have the guy on the bike. You have this white man with a hat. There's so much going on. So it's fun to shoot.
I can imagine.
It's definitely
Because
fun
I always
to shoot.
wonder, man.
When you sent
Because
me,
you got to be, I always say for photographers, you got to be both, even cinematographers. Man, we see people sitting down like, we're looking at them, they're like, I'm just me. But we're walking away, man, can I take your picture? Like, wow, do I look strange to you? No, man, you look cool. You got a cool look.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. It's true. It's absolutely true.
now I'm bringing one up here. Obviously, I couldn't wait to bring this image in the second you sent it to me.
Really?
On the left, of course, is another. I'm sure there's a story behind that one, but I'm
Yes, there
way
is.
more interested about the story on the right.
Right. Okay. So, all right. To sum it up, the story on the guy on the left, this was in Cuba, and also this was a Sony trip. They brought me in there, and this was a guy who owned a farm, and I just knew that he had a story behind that. So I love. This is one of my favorite portraits to be honest. I love that portrait. And then the story behind the other portrait. I mean the other one. There's so much I can say about this because it's unity, it's diversity, it's strength, is just so much. There's so much going on in that image. And this was a dance company who I went to shoot in Massachusetts. They're called Pilabolas.
Oh,
And
yeah. They use the human forms. Yes,
Yes,
I've been to the shows.
Yes, yeah. Isn't it amazing?
They're not human. They're
Oh
not
no,
from
they're not
Earth.
human. I've shot so much that day. I could have given you more images, but the truth is, like, you see how they are. Like, there's a magnetism. There's something like like It's like I said, strength. There's so much going on, and I love that dance company. Like, really do. And
Cool.
and they use my images all around the world.
How do you get that? How do you get an opportunity
Cool,
like
man.
that? Yeah, I mean, millions of people have
Uh,
cameras.
an opportunity like that, I have to thank Instagram for that, because Instagram has connected me with so much interesting people and so many creatives, and it's a real thing. I mean, it's a real thing. I have friends now that I've met on Instagram 6-7 years ago, and they're like true friends. These are like my
You know what
buddies.
Instagram it is? It's funny how Instagram. I mean, I'm not talking about the dumb Instagram.
No,
where
I
people
understand.
just talking stupid. My son is a filmmaker, and he's got a comic book. But he met this cat who's doing this animation, who lives in London, and they never met, and now they got this bond, and I'm like, it blows my mind when it
Yes.
works right, because
Yes.
that means that's somebody a fan of your work. That means somebody, hey man, you touched me so much that I want to take the time to get to know you.
Absolutely, 100%.
I think
Yeah.
that's an interesting point, and the social media game. I mean, I'm talking to two guys with you guys are in like the 6-figure Instagrams. I'm more down in like the 3.
But it doesn't
figure.
matter. But it doesn't even. I found out that 2.5 million followers versus 100,000 followers versus 6 followers. I'm telling you, there are even entertainers who want me to get on. I said, I'm touched by cats who do something that make it like, wow. So it's never about the amount of followers, because I think when you're real, you'll reach a plateau. You'll get a bunch of followers, and you'll reach this plateau until you do something else that was real with you. Like you do this other project, or you're doing some photographs to shoot something. Somebody's like, whoa, and this new wave of people come. But you'll have this regular group of people that's your steady number. That, hey man, I'm a true fan. I'm a true follower. That's more real to me than somebody unfollows you because you changed the color of your hair.
Yeah, and I couldn't agree more with you, Sinbad. And if you're only for the numbers, then
Yeah.
you are in for all the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just the way
I
it
mean,
is.
you can
And-
buy
and I
followers,
took-
right? It's not numbers.
You can
are
buy
easy.
followers.
Yeah,
but
you
that's
can.
That's not,
You can.
It's not
You can.
about that. It's not about that. And you know what? Like I said, I worked hard for whoever's following me. Like, I worked hard. I mean, they're following me because they want to follow me. It's
Thank you.
not, Yeah.
Do you almost feel?
It's
Do
humbling.
you feel like
It's humbling.
Is there like a responsibility to that community almost? You know, to
Oh,
put
absolutely.
out content.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And most of the time I post whatever I want, because at the end of the day, if I'm not true to myself, then what? You know?
And if you want to leave,
don't
and say,
don't get me wrong.
yeah,
I've been guilty.
yeah,
I've been guilty.
yeah.
I've been guilty to post, what I think that it's gonna give me like the more likes and things
Little
like
Yeah.
that.
clickbait.
I've been guilty
Little
about
clickbait.
that. Yeah.
Yeah,
could call
but
it
you know
that.
what? But you know what happens? I've did that because my agent was like, "Hey man, you gotta get these numbers up," or even there's agencies now. Like my daughter's trying to get an agent. They say, "Well, you need 10,000 followers." I'm like this, but the reason you're going for an agent is like, dude, to give me a chance to work, and then the followers want to come from my work. That's great. So you'll try to do something. This is gonna be my moment. This is gonna be my go viral moment. But it'll be something you weren't paying attention to that'll make you go viral. You say, "Wow, that was just a real moment. I didn't think that would do anything."
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, this is awesome
And
because
it-
no, go ahead, Oveck. Go ahead, man.
go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say.
No. So I never thought that I was even, because when I opened the account on Instagram, like I never even thought about becoming something there. Like I had no idea what to do with it. So
Yeah.
I was just posting whatever, and then I realized that there was a community of artists that were into the kind of stuff that spoke to me, and I was like, holy shit, this is something. I got something here. And little did I know that later, so many years, I mean, now here I am, and now Instagram recently started verify me, and that to me means, yeah, that's great. I mean, because at the end of the day, that it means I'm legit. I'm doing something.
That's an interesting point, and
That's cool.
I didn't think we'd be
that's
talking
cool.
about Instagram tonight. So it's once again we're far off the rails as usual.
I'm sorry.
No, it's perfect.
It's not
It's
like I
perfect.
didn't want to bring that up.
No, listen. I think it's.
But it's part
I
of
think-
it. But it's part of the culture. It's part of the
part of the
photography.
culture,
It's part of the cinematography. It's remember, let's face it. A lot of the things that we get known for doing are people. Remember, there are people who could not get hold of Oveck. They couldn't see his work. I mean, a lot of times you find cats.
Yeah.
And it's not that the name of Instagram. Give it any other name. It's that there's a channel open. There's a pathway to see it.
Yes.
That's really interesting because I think people talk all the time about being Instagram famous or YouTube famous, or Snapchat famous. I remember what was the Vine, when Vine was a thing before it became a not thing.
I remember Vine.
Yes.
And there were the most famous Viners, and then when Vine went belly up, what happened to those people? Was there?
Because they were never, let's say, some stuff was never real. Some stuff was made just for that, just for YouTube. Some stuff was just, remember him taking pictures is real.
Yeah, taking pictures.
That's real art form. If he jumped off Instagram, he'd still take them. If he jumped off Instagram and say Instagram shut down tomorrow, they had everybody just shut down the servers. He's still gonna be out doing this.
I'm gonna still be taking pictures. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
How does that
And I'm gonna
translate?
still be creating.
How does that translate to you for comedy? I mean, what does social media do for you? Obviously, Sinbad, you had a career long before any social media existed. So is it just
Absolutely.
an extension? I mean, what does it mean?
I'm curious to see what I'm very curious to hear what you're gonna say.
Okay, let me tell you. When they say before there was social media, that's not true. Everything we did was social media. We were always branding. We were always a brand. We had to do it a different way. I had to hit comedy clubs, had to get in the car and drive everywhere. I think it was more social then than it is now because you actually spoke to people. You actually touched people. I went into radio stations. I went into TV stations. It was more social. So I think people my age and maybe from 40 on up, we know how to do it both ways. I know to sit and talk to you. I know how to sit and touch you. Some people, it is all just that camera. It is all just Instagram. It is all just Facebook. And when they lose some followers, they don't know what to do. With me, man, I'm gonna be funny no matter what, bro. I'm gonna keep pushing. Then I'll find the new way.
Yeah.
I don't need you. It's cool, but I don't need you.
Man, I love that. That is that is the best way of looking at it.
Yes. Preach.
Yeah.
You know, they always tell us we're old. You know, I work with a bunch of
Hell.
millennial 20-something. They tell me I'm old. I'm like, no, I just
No, you're
I've
wise,
just seen
dude.
things.
You're wise.
Exactly.
I'm not.
You're
I'm
wise.
Not locked in.
You're experienced.
Yeah, man. I know how to actually like on this thing. I know how to dial. I know
Yeah.
how to dial numbers and stuff and talk to people at the other end. I know how to do all of that. In fact, somebody made.
Man, artists should be touched. I mean, I'm sitting on my iPad looking at your stuff. Dude, this touches me. I mean, the good thing about social media, the good thing about internet, like I say, these photos that just come up. Dude, the fact that I can see that, I don't have to go to the museum and see it, or I don't have to go to an art show. I go, who is that dude?
Thank you
I
so
can
much.
look at that and say, who is this dude? So now I can look you up, and I can get all into your life. That's where I look at the internet. Now I can say, who is this cat? Is he gonna be somewhere? Hey man, maybe I can use him. That's it's easier to find something. Find something that touches me.
True.
Find
And
this
we
art
gotta
form that
take,
you're doing.
yeah,
man.
we got to take advantage of that, you know, and
Yeah.
I do.
I mean, these two images that we're looking at
Yeah.
right now, you know, Oveck, obviously we've worked on projects together. We've traveled all the way across the world together.
Yes,
But
yes,
these two images
yes.
I'm looking at are so personal. I mean, certainly one, you know, you see somebody's eye and then just the emotion of the dancer on the left. And I mean, this says something about you. You know, not only are we seeing what was on the other side of your camera, but you could almost, these two images say something about your personality.
Oh, and it's really funny. I mean, that means that through the years, I guess you know me, right?
I would say
because
so.
because the truth is, like, these are images that define my personality and, like, you know, my mind, the way it works, you know, and things like that. Because you know, I like taking pretty pictures of landscapes, right? I like to do that, and I have fun with it. But when it comes to create art, you know, I like something that has a lot more meaning behind it, you know, and these two can definitely explain that a little bit.
So Ryan Silverberg's in the chat. Ryan, what's going on? He asked, and I'll pull these back up. He wants to know if these images are processed in any way. You know, obviously every image is processed doing color to it, but I'm assuming he's talking more about any special effect work, or is this more or less camera to Lightroom?
All right, so the image on the right, the image of the mirror, and there's no post-processing. The only post-processing on this is just color, and that's it, and that's just about it, because that's just the image the way it is. On the image on the left, there is a little bit of post-processing Photoshop, which I did. If you look on the left, on the top left, there's what I wanted to do is give it a little motion into the whatever she was holding there. Yeah, I just wanted to give it a little more dramatic feel to it. So I did add a little motion blur to it.
What's the favorite image you've ever shot in your life? Do you have one?
Oh, that's I don't know. I don't know. You see, I really don't know. that's I can tell you that you know, there's certain images that have a meaning behind, and yes, I mean, but I don't know. I mean, it's yet to come.
Yet to come. I like that. Sinbad, do you consider yourself
Yep.
a photographer? I mean, obviously, you know, crazy people like us dabble in so many different mediums, and it's, you know, do you title it?
You know what, man? I said this year. See, Don Lewis from Different World always had a camera. Don Lewis is a good photographer. My youngest daughter is a good photographer. I think
love to
what
see her
happens
work.
with me. Oh yeah, man. I'll send you her stuff, man. But
Please,
know what
please
happens?
do.
What happened with me, I think, is because with ADHD, I move so fast. I found out when I still myself, I can see it. When I still myself, I can see it. But man, when I'm looking at something, I'm ready to think about something else. When I look at something, I think about music. When I look at something, I think about, oh, that's a script. I look at something, it makes me go to something else. And I've always said, dude, will you just, I was going to take a photography class to help me with cinematography for making movies, because it's the same thing. That's why in every film school they make you take that required photography class to learn how to use your camera so you can become a cinematographer. But for me, I said, I think I have an eye. I see stuff, but I'm almost just watch it and not capture it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm so busy. I said, oh, I don't want to put my phone out. I said, oh, I don't want to put my camera out. And for a while, I was carrying this camera with me, but then I get mad because I leave it in the bag somewhere else. I said, I was trying to be this photographer. And then I said, dude, stay in your lane. stay in your lane, man.
Stay in your lane.
I'll carry your bag. I'll carry Oveck's bag. I'll carry your bag. Just let me go on a trip with you, and I'll carry the bag.
Take me to Marrakesh, however many lenses you got.
Let me set up the tripod, because I'm a tech head. Let me set up the tripods. I'll bring the tripods and all that stuff.
Yeah, you brought up a really good point there, and it's that, for those who are technical, they know this. I mean, a second of video is just 24 or 30 or 60 frames of pictures. It's a bunch of images. There's no such thing.
It's a flip book. It's just a flip book.
There's no such thing as video.
It's just a flip
video
book.
is just a way to trick the eye into seeing lots of still images put together. And, the best photographers, usually one of the attributes that you say is that they have a great eye. They have a great eye. They know how to see things. They know how to frame.
Yeah.
And, for me, before I ever shot a second of video for years, I had gotten into photography. That was how I got my start. And then I think it's probably the ADHD brain that you talk about all the time that I just can't take one. I got to take a million. I got to shoot video.
No.
It's you can't.
It's what it is. You know what I've done? I've sat with photographers. I said, okay, y'all, let's all take a picture. We're in the same room or someplace. I said, let's all take a picture and compare pictures.
Yeah.
And I thought I caught some cool shit. I got this cool shit. I got it. And I look what they shot. I said, oh, I suck. I got a picture of a dude.
No, you don't.
I got a picture of a dude, but they got the picture of the dude with the emotion while he's eating a hamburger. And I just got a picture of a dude.
Oveck, do you guys go through that when you're out with 5 other photographers, 10 other photographers on these Sony trips? Is there competition amongst you guys to get the best stuff?
Deep down inside, it's not a competition, but it's some sort of like, let me try to get my perspective, and let me try to get it, before, like. Yeah, I mean, there is a little bit of competition, but it's in good, in good faith, nothing like, trying to be better than you, it's just in good faith.
You know what it is?
I guess.
It's more like, it's like comics, musicians. When everybody's talented, know what the ultimate compliment is when you're looking at each other's work? Damn, I wish I shot that. Man, I wish I wrote that lyric. It becomes
you
like,
could say that.
Damn, that was, yeah. Oh, I wish I played that little riff. But he digs your riff too. So we found out, wow, there's a riff for all of us. There's an eye for all who are talented. There's a place for everybody.
Does comedy work like that too? There's 5 comedians on the card that night. One guy gets off the set. He's like, man, your set was great. Your set was great. Or is it?
Comics hate each other. Comics hate each other.
But also we also have
comics lie.
We also have to think that for every great thing, there are ingredients. Like, it happened for a reason. Like, the time was right. The mood was right. Everything was right to be able to get to that point. So in music, in comedy, like in movies, right?
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. You catch a moment like this. Okay, a moment in sports. Why can you have a game where you get 40? No turnovers, 20 rebounds. Why can't you do that every night? Remember, it's some nights you're gliding on air.
And Sinbad.
And that's
Yeah, no, you're right.
Does that I mean, I guess that translates to everything, right? Some days
I think it translates to
everything.
everything, absolutely.
You shot the best thing, you got the best shot. Some days it's like, man, I can't even get my settings right on the camera. And I'm sure
we know what it is.
Comedy, you definitely have that, right? I mean, you go out, you bomb one night and it's the same set you did the night before.
Well, you know what it is? I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't bomb.
You're
Just
the
like,
man. You're
just
the
like
man.
you don't take,
Now,
just like
Sinbad,
you don't take bad pictures. You don't
now,
do bad cinematography. You
Sinbad,
have days better than
Sinbad,
others,
now
but
let
when
me
you're
ask you,
good,
do you
yeah,
still do the stand-ups?
every weekend. I never stop.
Oh, you
Since
never stop.
1985,
Oh, that's
I've
amazing.
never been off the road. I've never, that's why I like photography. If you keep shooting it, I think you get better because you keep shooting it. People said,
Yes, you're
well, how do
right.
I get good at
You're right.
something? When they said, well, that $10,000, well, whether it's 10,000 hours or 100 hours or 2,000 hours,
Mm-hmm.
if you do something consistently, know what happens?
It
All of a
becomes
sudden,
second nature.
confidence happens. Like
Yeah.
when you grab a camera, you probably grab a camera, even if you weren't ready for that shot, you know your gear so much, boom, you were able
Yeah,
to get
you
it. But
just
somebody
get
who
it.
just
You
bought the
just get
camera
it.
and
You're
said,
right.
oh man, I don't know my settings, I ain't have my lens on, man, I had it
Yeah.
locked. You look like a rookie.
You're right. No, you're right. You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
what is this thing? So I was speaking to Jay the other day, and he told me that I had no idea like how much into technology are you in?
Well, that's
Oh, I
that's the
was
mission
beautiful
here.
kid. My dad. That's my dad. My dad, man. I was taking TV sets apart. I had little science kits. I wanted to blow up stuff. I wanted to be a spy. I wanted to be a
That's
Navy
amazing.
SEAL.
Like
Dude, I
who
was
knew?
on all
Like
that.
who knew? Like, who knew?
Well, we're making sure.
Knew everybody.
Yeah, we're making sure everybody
Everybody that
knows.
kicked me out the house. Everybody that fired me from a job, they knew. Everybody's stuff I took apart, they knew.
That's amazing. And by the way, like going back to what I said before, like in some way you affected my because growing up like watching your movies. Come on, I mean, come on, man. They were like the best. They were good laughs, and
I was
those are
having
the
fun,
moments.
man.
Yeah, always having fun.
All right.
But I just want you to know, man, I meet cats like you. I meet cats like Jay. People say, man, what turns me on? I love meeting new talented people. I even love people trying to find the talent because I think you can absorb the energy. I think if you're open to the world, not just caught up on yourself, like, I mean, I got to be the man. I can't have nobody here. Some people don't want people better around them. They go like, you get intimidated. I said, it can be intimidating when somebody is around you has a big personality or somebody he's like, man, he's really good at this. I said, well, man, let me absorb some of that. I hope some of that rubs off on me. That's why I always thought younger people, when I was coming up, I always wanted to be around older cats. A young photographer wanted to be around an older photographer because he knows stuff that I might not ever know.
You're right, and the truth is, like you. All right, so your legacy, because your legacy is huge right now, right? Just like you, I met this photographer the other day, and I was very intimidated meeting her
Really?
because she is a phenomenal photographer. Her name is Amanda Demi, and she is
Oh,
yeah, she's a celebrity photographer and art director, and she's worked with you name any name she's worked with, uh, and she came up to me. I mean, through Instagram, like she's been following my work for
wow.
a long time, and
Wow.
she reached out to me, and I met with her in the city, and she wanted to talk to me about a job that she got for me, and it was creating the cover of the album for Diana Ross's son, Evan Ross. You know Evan Ross,
Yeah, yeah,
Evan
yeah.
Ross and Ashley Simpson. They have a band, so they actually I created the cover for the album for them. I mean, and
Wow.
a photographer like her to trust me to do something like that, to put that in my hands. I mean, she's the creative director, but at the end of the day, it was phenomenal to
Ain't it
have
cool?
that. Yeah,
Ain't it cool? It's cool, ain't it?
yeah, it
Dude,
is. It is.
it's like a jazz dude saying to you, man, I like how you play. You don't need a lot.
Yes.
It's just, man, I like how you play.
Yeah.
Ain't that the truth?
Although Miles Davis will probably say that, would never say.
No, he did. Dude, no. Miles Davis was one of the most giving. I talked to Marcus Miller and Herbie Hancock. Do you know Miles was one of the most giving. He wanted young cats to outplay him.
That's insane.
Miles was like, when I did Star Search in 1985, Cicely Tyson was his wife at the time, was the judge. And
Really?
after the show, man, Miles Davis walks up to me. I'm tripping. God, Jesus, this is Miles
my
Davis.
God.
He said, hey, man, you do comedy, man. That's like jazz, man. Man, you doing jazz up there, man. Did you do music? I said, yeah. You keep playing music because it'll make your comedy better. I was like, Miles Davis told me I was good.
Man, oh man. By the way,
Yes.
first of all, let's talk about the impression. Like, the voice. Like you did just fine.
That was
you
pretty
did
good.
Justy to that
was
voice.
pretty good impression.
That was really good. But yeah, I mean just the fact that you met Miles Davis. I mean that would be a dream for me. Like Anyway,
Sinbad,
a dream that would never
that
happen.
probably happens a lot, right? Like you're out doing stand-up somewhere, and there's just some random, you could be in the middle of wherever, and somebody comes in, and it's somebody you might have looked up to. I'm sure that has had to have happened to you more than once over the years.
Now remember this. Man, I'm at the age now, most of the people that was my heroes are dying or dead. And the sad part of it, that's true,
Sinbad,
but you know what?
Sinbad, you look fantastic for your age. I was looking
Thank
at your
you,
age
man.
right now. I was just looking at your age, and I'm not gonna say your
internet lies.
age right
The
right
internet
now.
lies.
I'm 63, bro. I'm 63 this year.
63, yeah.
I'm
so
good.
that's-
63 this year, man. So
I hope I look
I
like
look at it
you.
this way. Dude, Quincy Jones is still
Quincy Jones.
my mentor. When I hear Kanye West and guys talking about being producers, I said, brother, when I say the name producer, I'm thinking Quincy Jones. I'm thinking Herbie Hancock. I'm thinking
Yeah,
these
of
kind of
course,
guys.
of course.
You know what I'm saying? Can
Listen,
play.
I know exactly what you're saying.
Yeah. So the best part about your job, Jay, the best part about our jobs? We get to meet our heroes. The best part of my job
Yes.
is I got to meet some of my heroes.
That's true.
Absolutely.
That is true.
Yeah.
And we are grateful for that. And absolutely.
Yes.
No better place to leave it than right there. Oveck, where can people find
Yeah,
you?
bro.
I know we've been kicking your name around all night. Instagram, it's at OVECK, right?
Yep.
Where else?
Yep.
Where else?
You can find me anywhere with my name, and my website is oveck.us, oveck.us, and you can find me anywhere on any platform with the handle at Oveck.
I guess you just monopolized the entire internet. Well done. Sinbad, where you at this weekend?
Come on.
Man, this week I'm in LA. I'm gonna be at the Rose in Pasadena. Then Saturday I'm gonna be at the Agora Hills Canyon Club in Santa Clarita, California. Then next week, I rarely get a chance to play in LA. The next week, I'm back out in the world again. I'm at Sinbad Bad, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. I'm Sinbad, and usually I'm just Sinbad. If you see me on the street, I'm Sinbad, just on the
Nothing
street.
wrong with that. Well,
Nice.
I wish you the
Nice.
best. I
Nah,
hope the
man.
ground underneath you stays solid this week. No more shaking, no more cracking.
yeah,
No,
yeah,
no more
man.
rock, no more
Yeah.
rock and roll by your feet.
No more rock and roll, brother. No more rock and
Gotta
roll.
thank everybody who tuned in tonight for listening. Thank you so much. We appreciate all the comments on Facebook. Check out the brand new website, Technically Funny Live. This episode will be up almost live. Royce, thank you on the other side of the camera as usual. Andrea, thank you right next to me. Appreciate it.
Thank you guys.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you for
Man, thanks
having
for
me.
coming on.
Oveck, you a bad dude, man.
Oh,
You're a bad dude, Oveck. You're a bad dude.
By the way, I need to do your portrait, Sinbad.
Oh, dude.
My man.
Dude, hit me. Look, give him my
All right.
information, Jay. Jay, give him my phone numbers, everything.
Done
All right.
and done.
Guys,
Okay.
All right, boys.
Right on.
Good night.
take care.
All right.